I said, I quantified it to say building materials, cement, gravel, sand, and the rest of it. Okay, but now the federal government says 10,000 housing units will be provided in the shortest possible time. But according to, surveys done, we need about 700,000 housing units annually to be able to offset that 17 million housing deficit that we have, and also being required to be able to meet the Millennium Development Goals. What should be done?
You see, let's get this statistics right. Because it's then we'll be able to help our nation. If we truly have 17 million housing deficit, and we want to wipe off this deficit in 10 years, then it's 1.7 million every year. Simple arithmetic. Not even 700. Because 700 houses every year times 10 years translates to just 7 million. So it's not 700. It's not 7,000, 700,000. So it's 1.7 if our mind is. And then we were actually talking about Millennium Development Goal. Millennium Development Goal target is 2015, next year. So whatever, if the government's effort is to meet the Millennium Development Goal of next year, and we are saying that we are building 10,000 this year, and then it's not, the target is no longer the MDGs. But either the world sets the target or not, it is the responsibility of every one of us in this country to make sure that the housing industry works. Because there lies the employment, there lies the security, there lies the future of our country. Cameron said last year that we will build UK out of recession. And when you get to every corner of London today, old houses were being pulled down, construction projects were going on. 270,000 houses per annum. When they set the target, they put everything it requires to make sure that those targets are met. It's because previous government that told us that we'll have water, we'll have houses for in the year 2000, nothing was done. So since that time, people kept on setting targets because they know that no one will hold them accountable. But we are not even talking of holding anyone accountable. I'm saying that if we should get housing right, this government, this nation will move forward. So we must get housing right. And getting housing right is doing what we need to do. What do we need to do? Make the land available. Make sure that our mortgage works. And like I said in one of our programs, that we use statistics in this country to frighten government. By the time you tell any government that we have a deficit of 17 million, there lies our problem in this nation. We say we have deficit of 17 million. And you tell government that you will build a house for about 2.5 million.
But do we actually have a deficit
we don't have.
Of 17 million?
We don't have.
So if you're saying that now, what statistically is the housing deficit that we have in Nigeria at the moment?
Let me explain to you, because this is a research issue. To really say this is the deficit we have. Now, those who are saying we have 17 million, immediately you say 17 million deficit, and you tell government you need about 2.5 million to build a unit, minimum, or 5 million. They multiply it, they say, even our budget for 10 years, if you don't even do health, we can't do it. They give up. Private sector, go and handle that. Because we use statistics to frighten government. But my question in the recent time is that where is this statistics really coming from? Let us sit back. An average family size in Nigeria is 5. The mother, the wife, and the father, the wife, and 3 children. Then 5 times 17 million. We are getting about 70 million people. I now kept on asking the recent time, does it mean that 17 million Nigerians were living on streets? And the answer is no. So which means that we don't really have 70 million deficit. What do we have? Why do we say we have 70 million deficit? Because the United Nations that is telling us that we have 70 million deficit, they were not counting houses at Ketu or Jota as houses. Because they don't have basic infrastructure to qualify for a proper house. But you and I know that houses at Ketu, there are some houses that have marble floor at Ketu, but because they don't have good access, they don't have water, they were not counted. They were not counted as a proper house, habitable house. No sanitary something. No WC. So these houses were not counted as proper houses. So we are now saying we have 70 million. The question is that let us look at areas like Ketu, look at areas like Mushi. What can we do to improve on the houses there? Immediately we improve on these houses in our slums. Eventually, we increase the number of stocks that qualifies to be a proper house under United Nations standard.
And therefore now reduce the number.
We've just suddenly found out that in a year, if we can back upon urban regeneration, facing K2, giving K2 water, giving K2 health facility, toilet facilities, suddenly the property there suddenly becomes a proper property. And the government of this country should realize that it is far, far cheaper, almost 1/100, to polish up, to upgrade, to regenerate all our slums and make these houses proper. And immediately we suddenly discover that this deficit is less than 5 million. And immediately we know that our deficit is less than 5 million, we can now say, oh, we can face this. We can reduce this in 10 years
Professor
if we are
Nubi.
building to 2.
Professor Nubi, hold on to your thoughts. When we come back, we're going to be talking about those new technologies that you mentioned earlier in the conversation.
Thank you.
You're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. On the program this morning, we're looking at housing delivery. I've been having a conversation with a professor of estate management with the University of Lagos, Timothy Nubi. He's going to be here with me when I return in just a moment. Please join me again.